Ladies and gentlemen, now here to introduce the album of the year, possibly, arguably, Drake, 21 Savage.
Hold on. I just got a message. She ain't coming.
She's not?
It's alright. It's her laws. It's her laws, alright? It's her laws.
You know what? You're right, man. Because at the end of the day, I'm a CLB, alright?
Yeah.
Certified lover boy.
Honestly, never mind, yo. But yeah, her laws. We finally got to digest it. It's been like 2 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Got some mixed reviews, you know. But
Mostly positive.
yeah.
But
No,
mixed.
I'm talking about
Your personal.
Yeah, my own opinion. I had mixed reviews, you know, going into this. At first I didn't even want to make a video. That's how mixed reviews I had.
Wow.
But yeah,
I can't wait to dive into your thoughts. I want to know, how do you feel about the most relatable album of all time? Her Laws.
Yo, the fake rollout.
That's genius.
Yeah,
that was
sure.
genius. That was hilarious.
For sure. Like I was seeing all the Tiny Desk. I saw the SNL,
the Vogue magazine cover,
yeah.
which by the way they're getting sued for right now.
Yo, it's worth it, you know.
But the lawyer's like, objection.
Hey.
On that bullshit.
Yeah, no, for sure. You know, Drake in 21 when we first got the news. You know, I know we said in the last episode that we were expecting like a low track type of album. Mm-hmm. But seeing that 16 songs, how did you feel about that?
16 tracks, I was a little surprised because I was thinking about What a Time to Be Alive, even though it's Future, he's a different artist, different caliber artist than 21. They had 10 tracks. Yeah, so I was thinking it was going to be in that same ballpark of tracks.
Yeah.
But when I seen the track, I was like, oh wow, 16. This should be very interesting. And also another surprise that I noticed was there wasn't many featured artists. There's only one.
Yeah, I said DJ Khaled album last time. I was highly shocked.
I was actually surprised that you was thinking it was gonna be like a DJ Khaled album.
Yeah, because I just felt like they would need like
some backup, some help.
Yeah, some assistance, because it was just Drake and 21. You know what I mean? They have chemistry, but we didn't know what to expect for a full-length project, you know?
Because like the songs that they came out previously to the project, I felt like they never missed. Like I felt like they complemented each other well. Yeah. And each song, well, with the with one song maybe that got mixed reviews, people were like, it was like a Mr. Right Now. That it could have been a miss, but other than that, 9 times out of 10 they don't miss. So
yeah. But talk about what a time to be alive. I also had this question: do you think this project was done in short, like in a short period? Like what a time to be alive, they said it was 6 days.
It was 6 days.
So do you think this project was done in 6 days or something short?
Definitely not. Like you can tell just by the quality that they put out, the quality, the production, and the lyrics behind the songs. Yeah. They definitely were in the process of making this album a lot longer than What a Time to Be Alive. Like with What a Time to Be Alive, they were locked in the studio for like 6 days. It's like they had like a deadline to meet. Like we gotta do it now. Whereas Drake and 21, I feel like they had more leeway. Yeah. Especially with Drake, he's independent. 21, he's independent. So like they can take their time with it. You know what I'm saying? So sure. You can definitely tell like it was well crafted.
Yeah, it's very polished. Very polished.
Me personally, at the moment, there's no skips. I don't want to sound biased because like you know like OVO boys like.
Well, this shirt is for 21 because he was born in October too. So this is for 21.
21 and Drake, OVO boys.
Yeah, and I noticed that too in the details of the the licensing, like who was distributed by. It's not OVO Sound, it's OVO by itself. So maybe they created like a like not a label, but they created like a something just for them to put out this album, because they are both October very own. But talking about 21, I feel like this just like gives him even more like leverage to his name, because we expect this from Drake. Drake's been in the game for 15 years now. Like we expect this, but for 21, to stand by that man and do what he did on this album, like, I'm calling this album 21's album. He started the album, first of all. Whoa. You hear his voice first. You don't hear Drake's.
21, can you do something for me? 21.
Exactly. So who's asking who to do something for them? Drake's asking 21 to do something for him. So Drake needed 21 for this.
That's crazy, because like I've had it on repeat like the past week and a half, really trying to like digest the whole thing and get like a clear consensus of how I truly feel.
Not just play first track and then you're done.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And by the way, you know, when it comes to Drake intros, he always has to come correct. And Rich Flex. So usually, alright, albums drop on Friday. Usually I play it like right away. I want to give it time. I want to wait till later on in the day when like I'm fully up and I'm ready to take in an album, right? So track 1, Rich Flex. I'm just bobbing my head. Nice little intro, someone talking. Then the beat drop. And then my face was like that white kid that makes that smirk face, like, oh. And then the beat switch. So it sampled T.I.'s 24 song.
Oh, that's T.I.'s?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was like, oh my god, like the stank face that I had. I was like, fucking full blast in the fucking car. Like I was like, holy shit. Like I was taken back. Like this intro goes way too hard. And this is the first track of 16.
So I felt the same, but about 21. I was like, yo, 21's going hard. He's spitting, and then he gets cut off by Drake. Drake switches the beat, doesn't even let 21 go on that new beat, and he just tries to claim the track because 21 just outshined him. He tried so hard to claim that track. But 21 was spitting, and then you just hear Drake come right in and cut off 21. I was like, yo, what happened to 21's verse? It didn't sound like he finished.
That kind of caught me off guard. And like going into this album, I'm like, yo, Drake, please don't be on some bullshit. Please don't sing. Like, you're with 21, please come correct and just rap. And the first thing you hear, all of you hoes, all of you hoes.
It goes in.
It does. Like after a while, I'm like, all right, it goes in. It's not bad.
And he finished off with Murder Gang shit.
Saw the gang shit. I was like, oh, Drake.
That beat does go in. I didn't know it was T.I.'s song though.
Yeah.
Chrome on Chrome.
That's how. See, I'm so stuck on Drake since I can't even think of T.I. But like that, once I heard that beat, it just took me back to when I was a kid listening to T.I. I'm like, yo, that song right there I felt like catapulted T.I. into being like one of like the standouts back in the day. So like,
got him on the radio.
Yeah.
Word. Yeah, I like the beat. And then one of the radio stations was playing the original, but it wasn't T.I. Did he have features on that song? Because the verse I heard on the radio wasn't T.I.
It might have been a remix. Could have possibly been a remix, but I was so used to T.I.'s version.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Alrighty. No, yeah, so the first intro, I was just shocked that 21 started off, and then Drake comes in and, like, you know, cuts him off. But it was still a good track.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
They're flexing, you know, they're rich flexing. They're like, cohesively just going with the flow, you know, and then that goes into the second track, Major Distribution, which I believe that was like the original standout I saw on Apple Music was that song.
That was the first song that I heard on the radio.
Oh yeah?
That was the first one. I was like, oh, I feel like there could have been like a different song. But like, it goes in. It goes in, but it's definitely not a song that's going to be playing on the radio from here on out.
Yeah, I feel like albums nowadays they don't really care about that. As long as it's on people's playlists, on Apple Music, Spotify, whatever. That's what they're aiming for. Because there's a lot of swears, you know, a lot of like references to violence and stuff like that. And you know, 16 tracks, 4 of them are like 3 of them are Drake's, and then 1 is 21. So in reality, it's a 12 album track. You know, so that seems reasonable to 10. You know, like What a Time to Be Alive. So those 12 tracks, them together, they perfected those flows, them going back and forth on some songs, or letting the other one shine more than the other, you know, just taking turns, you can see that. But, you know, seeing that timestamp went to 21, like, I was shocked that Drake let him get the timestamp.
Yeah, honestly, I felt some type of way about that, because, like, the timestamp Drake, that's, like, one of his signature songs. It's like... it's like Kendrick Lamar's The Heart series.
Yeah,
you know. So like when it comes to a timestamp song, it's like that's like Drake's best.
Yeah.
So for Drake to give it to 21 Savage, I think that speaks volume.
Yeah.
Into like how much he really like cares about like 21, how much he like really like fucks with him.
Yeah.
To give him
how much
that,
he needed him to stay in the game.
Oh,
he needs his fame. You know, he said it in a verse too. He's like, 21 been working harder than me. You know, so he sees that, and he gave him the timestamp. He's like, yo, you could start the album. You could have the timestamp. I just need you on this album.
You know what's funny? I feel like he gave him that. To be honest, I do feel like Drake carried 21 throughout this whole project.
Really?
So like 1 through 16, I feel like even like the songs that it's Drake and 21, I feel like I hear Drake most of the track. Like Spin 'Bout You, which is like a standout for me.
Yeah.
21, that was a good verse, and then you got Drake the rest of the way, chorus, verse.
Yeah.
And then it leads into Hours in Silence.
Yeah.
That's another standout.
Yeah.
That's fucking 21 on the chorus singing that.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo,
his R&B bag,
bro, that sounds so amazing, and like
Yeah.
I felt like we got robbed of that because I wanted it to go for like a second part, like him singing the chorus again, or like just like another verse. You know what I'm saying? But like that's another example of just Drake just carrying it just all by himself. It's Drake and 21, but it's mostly Drake.
Yeah. But don't you feel like this kind of feels like the Jay-Z verse? You know, everyone was talking about Lil Wayne's verse on the DJ. Well, let me add some context. The DJ Khaled song that has Lil Wayne, Rick Ross, and Jay-Z with the 4-minute verse. A lot of people were saying that Jay-Z felt like he had to do that because Lil Wayne's verse was so good. So I feel like that correlates to what I'm trying to say right now, which is Drake felt like he needed to extend his time on each song so he can feel more dominated. Because I'm sure that hit him some type of way when he heard a lot of people saying Future carried him on What a Time to Be Alive.
That's
so
a good point.
He didn't want that to happen again, you know. So,
especially with
a younger
like no
artist.
disrespect, but like at 21, he's only been in the game for a few years. Whereas Drake, he's a veteran. You know, he definitely heard the whispers in the back. Like a lot of people said, like, yo, Future carry that shit. There's no way I'm gonna let a guy that came out 5 years ago carry me. Like I gotta come correct and show you what it's about. Yeah. So I definitely understand your point.
Yeah, no, for sure. So now I love this album. Like it's a really good listen.
It's incredible.
Like they did a really good job at doing what they know best. You know, because that's kind of like the mixed reviews I had when I initially started listening to this. I was like, are you serious? Another album about the same stuff? Like Drake, what does he really talk about? He talks about women, money, his ops, and how big he is. No pun intended, you know? So I'm just like, yo, you're 36 years old, and I think I was just I was projecting what I'm going through in my own personal life. Like, I feel like I'm becoming more conscious of society where we're raised in. So I put all that onto him. I was just expecting that out of him. But in reality, he's an entertainer, you know? He hasn't showed that he was conscious rapping in the past, so why am I going to expect this now, you know? So once I put that to the side and I actually listened as a fan and not a critic, I really enjoy this album, you know? Like, if I want to listen to conscious rap, no lie, when I put on this album, I turned it off right away and I went to Kendrick's. It actually made me go to Kendrick's album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, and I really appreciate that album, actually listening to the words he says, because it resonates what I'm going through in my own personal journey. You know, just one of the lines, you know, I'll quote the great Kendrick. He says in his song, the music industry wants people, men and women, to be sleeping in boxes while they're chasing us, which is the celebrities, which is true. Because who do we idolize? We idolize athletes, celebrities, you know, just all these people that are on TV, you know, and what do? They buy expensive stuff, which majority of the time they get for free. Meanwhile, we hard-working people have to pay money for this expensive stuff, $1,500 for a bag, while they're getting it for free to promote it in a music video.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, so, and you know, just hearing lyrics like that in Kendrick's songs, like, I appreciate that. So if I want conscious rap, then I have to go to a conscious rapper, you know? So I gotta understand, if I want entertainment, some fun music, I rate Drake's the one to do that because he's perfecting this stuff. He's dropped 3 albums in 2 years. Like, how many more albums you think he's gonna continue to drop? Do you think he's gonna keep this consistency with one every year or
three in like 13 months? So like
3 and 13.
Yeah, so we gotta go back to like CLB. That was September 2021.
Yeah.
That Honestly Nevermind was like 9 months later, and then 3 months later you get this one with 21 Savage. It's like, yo,
yeah,
he's on a roll right now. Is he gonna keep dropping consistently? Is he gonna take a break? We don't know, but like, who know? Do you feel like he's kind of like oversaturating a bit? Honestly, with his sound, with his music.
Honestly, CLB, Honestly Nevermind, and Her Loss, they're saying it's a trilogy. I don't know if it's true or if these are just fans.
I think it's the fans are just saying like, oh, since he's dropped so consistently, because he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
And in the span of 13 months, he dropped 3 albums, and you could kind of see like what the album covers and like the sound, the message that he's trying to put out. That it could be like a trilogy, but it's not.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, Drake, since he's come out, I feel like he's been saying the same stuff, but he just finds new way to say it. So he's very creative in that aspect. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if you're good at this, stick to that, you know what I mean? And perfect it. And he has perfected it. So I don't think he's oversaturated because he has the money to find the new sound.
And he's reaching out to every demographic out there. There's always going to be a Drake fan wherever you go.
Yeah.
And like, he gets older. We want to be able to hear like him talk about more different things, different experiences that he's gone through in his life, not like the same stuff. So like, I know what you mean.
The one line that he did mention about Real Society is the abortion thing. He said, "Oh, look at these men that never got women in high school make laws about women." Like, he's like, oh, I gotta protect you.
Yeah, that was a good part.
Yeah. You know, so when I heard that, I was like, okay, there he goes. He's mentioning something, but no, he's good at what he does, and I feel like, you know, with the money he has, there's no way for him to always sound the same. Like, because I feel like Honestly Nevermind and this, if you listen to the lyrics, just the words, not the sound, not the production. If you just listen to the words, he's saying the same thing, you know? Like, he's talking about women, he's talking about money, he's talking about things he's buying, he's talking about his success, you know? So, like, those are the categories he's good at, and he knows that, and why change? And when he does experiment, people always bash him, you know? People always bash him saying, oh, try something new.
And that's what he's trying to do. He's doing something new, and people are so used to the old stuff, the same stuff, you know? And that's the type of artist he is. Like, now that he has that independence and like the labels backing him up with that Brinks truck at his house,
$425 million.
He's able to do his own thing and just be more liberated.
No, and I was gonna say I'm surprised that there was no UK sounds. Remember how we said that 21 was come over there, and Drake's always doing UK sounds. I was expecting one track, but he just said the smoke got him speaking in Dutch, you know. But there was no UK sound, which, you know, I'm kind of glad because the way the album came out, like I like how it is, you know, like just very rappy. But then with the Drake twist on it too, you know what I mean? The slow melody towards Hours of Silence, like that reminds me of old Drake too. And the Twins one.
Treacherous Twins,
you know what I mean? That's for the girls. We could vibe to it too, you know, we twins.
I wish I had long hair.
Nah, it's all good, bro. It's all good. It's what's inside. But no, this album, like the 12 tracks, them together, and then the 3 by itself, I had my theory that I feel like those 3 tracks were supposed to be Scary Hours 3.
Which one?
The Jumbotron.
Jumbotron shit poppin'.
Yeah.
So that's one song that I would say, like, out of the 16 track, is my least favorite.
Yeah?
That song, I feel like, is incomplete.
Really?
I feel like it
was short, right?
It's short. I feel like it's missing something or someone, and I was expecting it to be kind of like an anthem type song.
Yeah.
So like when I heard it like the first couple of times, I was a bit disappointed in it.
You know, my reaction was that it was his impersonation of Young Thug. I felt like that sounded like
a lot of people said that. A lot of people were saying it was Young Thug that should have been like on that song, like he was the missing ingredient to that song.
Like he has Young Thug's flow on that, like for sure, 100%. And I really liked it because of that. You know, I'm a Young Thug fan. You know, I like his sound. So when I heard Drake impersonating him, I was just like, okay, this sounds like a good song. You know, Drake twist on it. But yeah, it was short, but I liked it. And I found out that Lil Yachty produced that. Well, not fully produced it, but he had production on it.
Production credits on that song.
Yeah, not just one song.
Like three other songs.
Yeah. Back Outside Boys, which he's ad-libbing on. He got production on that, and I think Privileged Rappers, that song too. I was like, wow, Lil Yachty's a producer.
And he's the reason for the album cover too. Lil
Wow.
Yachty is the mastermind behind
the girl
Suki.
Who's Suki?
I don't know if she was like a streamer or a stripper or someone, but like.
Oh, she dissed Nicki Minaj, I believe. She was saying Nicki Minaj does coke, this and that.
That egghead girl on the cover?
I remember hearing on the radio that...
I don't know if I'm saying the right name.
Okay, no, because I remember hearing on the radio that some big streamer was claiming that Nicki Minaj was
doing coke.
Yeah,
I remember.
And since she's so big and a big influence on people, Nicki Minaj ended up suing her, or not just suing her in general about those
defamation of character.
Yeah, exactly. So if that's her, that's crazy. I was always wondering who that girl is.
I feel like if it was her, then Nicki definitely would have like said something or felt some type of way with Drake. True. Fucking all these social media sites would have been on top of it. Oh, Nicki unfollows Drake on social media. It's like, how do you find the fucking time to like go through someone's social media and look to see who's following who? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. But another line that 21 had some great lines. He shouted us out, our nationality. He's like, all my women are Boricua. I was like, yo, like 21 was flowing on this album, bro.
Yeah, man.
Like
this is his first #1 too.
For real?
First #1 album.
That's what I was gonna say too. I don't really dive into 21's projects. Like a lot of people like his projects, but I've really never been a fan of a full length of 21. You know, I'll hear the singles here and there, but a full length, me like diving in it, nah.
He's definitely progressed since 2016 when I first heard him. Like listening to Savage Mode, the mixtape, it's an album and stuff. Like he's definitely gotten better. Like there's a few tracks on like those albums that are standouts, and then there's other ones that just fall completely flat. But like he has a solid fan base that like stick with him, and they're gonna just push him to new heights. You know, so this is definitely a step in a right positive direction for 21. And he's even talking this shit. He said that he could beat anyone in his 2016 class.
I mean, that doesn't say much. Little Uzi's fizzled out.
It's funny because 2016, that class, when they first came out, I was like, yo, this is like the death of hip hop right here. Cause like, who the fuck are these people? Like even like before, like I was like, who the fuck is this 21 dude with a freaking knife on his forehead?
Cause at that time there was like a lot of rappers coming out 22, 23.
Yeah, 22, Savage 23. He was getting heated. He was like, well, who the fuck are these people? And they quickly fizzled out.
No, but they had Little Dicky on freaking class.
Oh my god, I was so mad when they came out with that list because I was like, who the fuck is Little Dicky? But like, you guys don't have Joyner Lucas on it.
Yo, that was his year too, right?
That was his year.
Wow.
I was like, you guys really left him out for this dude? But Little Dicky, I guess he's alright in his own special way.
He's a TV actor now.
Yeah. Go check it out. So you got Little Dicky, you got Kodak Black, which I seriously don't understand why
Kodak.
Like so many people fuck with him. Like he's
from Florida.
That's true. He is literally like the definition of no filter. Like he speaks his mind, which I guess could be good, but it can also be bad. Like he says a lot of stupid shit. But some of the songs that like I hear floating around, I'm like, yo, is this really Kodak? Like he can actually spit.
He was on K-Dot's album too. I was shocked.
I felt some type of way. I was like, really, like, whoa, people. So like
he was hitting some verses on there.
So Lil Uzi, Kodak, you had Anderson .Paak, you had Denzel Curry.
Okay, Anderson .Paak, Denzel Curry,
Yeah.
I see that. Some competition with those two. But I feel like Lil Uzi Vert has definitely been chasing since All My Friends Die. What song was that?
EXO Tour Life.
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago. So like a year after his debut, you know.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing with when you have that big hit like that. Like Drake right now, he's chasing My Feelings. You know, like I don't think he's ever gonna have a song that big, which is, you know, it's kind of tough when you're used to that. You know.
Only time can tell what's gonna happen.
But since you said there was lack of features, there was the one feature. Which was you shocked about?
I wasn't shocked because they've collaborated a lot in the past. I know there might have been some type of tension, like some rumors circling around of a specific female. So I thought that they weren't going to, but I guess, you know, rumors. I guess they might have squashed it, whatever. But Travis Scott, Pussy and Millions, and that's one of the standout songs for me.
Really?
When I first listened to it, I thought Travis Scott's part was kind of like out of place with like the beat switch. It kind of sounded off.
Yeah.
But after a few listens, like it's actually
they fixed
really.
it.
Yeah, I mean, with the streaming service nowadays, like the digital age that we're living in now, people are able to change it real quick.
It's real, bro. I be feeling like that too. Like I'll go back. Like I feel like with Mr. Morale, I feel like when I first initially heard it and then going back to it recently, I was like, why does it sound different? Maybe it is because they fix some things, you know? They polish it up. But
that song was really good. Pussy and Millions.
Yeah, so I bring up the feature because I feel like people didn't really talk about that, and that got me thinking. Like a lot of people were talking about the Meg Thee Stallion line and the Kanye line, right? They were like very controversial about that.
Yeah, we're gonna dive into these lines.
Yeah. So the fact that, you know, they talk about those two lines, but not Travis Scott, which he has been very quiet. He's been on lower than low. Like he's in a different continent, I believe. Like,
I mean, he's still kind of recovering from last year. Like he needed to stay like low key.
That's the thing. He's hiding out because there was so many accusations of him being accountable of those deaths of those families.
Yeah.
You know, like he has not done any shows. He canceled all his shows. He hasn't been on nobody's features. So I feel like this is like to test the waters to see the reaction of people.
Yeah, for sure. And just recently, like he started doing like shows and stuff.
Oh, where? Europe.
Yeah, like overseas,
exactly.
And he performed at LeBron James' son's birthday.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been very quiet.
Yeah.
And, this might be like the reintroduction of Travis Scott. It's been over 4 years since his last album. I know he's slowly trying to like gear up for his next album, Utopia. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what his next move is.
Because that's the thing, it hasn't been Utopia for him right now.
No, it's been a hell.
And
literally like a living hell. Like it's crazy.
And bro, but that just like shows you how powerful the media is. Like they got him like hiding out, you know.
Yeah.
And for me to not see anybody talk about that makes me think, because I really truly believe that labels have enough money to quiet people. You know,
for sure.
Even if people are talking about it, they have enough money to block that out from us seeing it on our timelines, so it doesn't continue to get viral.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I feel like since no one's talking about him being the only feature and he hasn't been out in so long, I feel like they're keeping like blocking all the comments about that out, so Travis can fully come back into the music industry just fine. You know, and people already forgot about it, because that's what it is nowadays. Something happens, let time pass, and then we forget about it, and they're allowed to come back out, you know? And
that's what happens.
And that's why Drake dropped those two lines about Meg. I feel like he dropped Meg's line and Kanye's line on the same song.
So people could pay more attention to that
instead of Travis
Scott.
Because what song comes before the Travis Scott song?
Circle Loco.
Which he drops the lines in.
So that's the thing. He says, and I quote, "This bitch lied about getting shots."
Yeah.
But she's still a stallion.
Yeah.
So it's like, alright, Megan Thee Stallion.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying online that he said shot and not shots. But you can hear him say shots. And Lil Yachty hopped on the live saying Drake meant shots, like BBL shots.
Yeah.
It was a double entendre.
Yeah.
It was wordplay.
Yeah.
But it's a little like tone deaf.
Yeah.
It's bad timing because it's like people are gonna look at it like you're picking a side. Like we don't really know all the facts yet. Yeah. And Meg went on Twitter and she spoke her mind, calling out all these rappers, calling me by my name and this and that. I don't think Drake meant to diss her. Like it was a double entendre. That's what I'm gonna say. It was wordplay, but he could have went a different route, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it was funny.
yeah, and like that's another song that like I hear on the radio too. I'm like, yo, why are they playing this song? Like, there's so many other songs like be played on the radio, but
that song goes in because of the sample, bro. That
one more time, Daft Punk. Yeah, some people like the diehard Daft Punk fans felt some type of way. It's like, look at this dude trying to sing on a fucking Daft Punk sample. It's like, bro, like, it's Drake. If anyone can do it, I'm pretty sure he can, and it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I liked how he said, if it was up to me, I'll hit him up one more time.
Yeah, man.
Like that flowed so smoothly. I was like, yo, I'll hit him up too, yo. Nah, but that song, I like that song. But yeah, I just feel like it did what it did. You know, it did what it was supposed to do. He left that line in there. I'm sure he sat on it for a little bit, but he's like, I want controversy.
I want to speak my mind.
Yeah, I want people to talk about this album, and how do I get that? Cause
and what are we doing?
The week before Taylor Swift dropped, the week after mad albums dropped. You know, like people are just dropping out of like just keep dropping and dropping. So how do you get people to get attracted to you? Controversy. People love drama. People love watching an accident happen, you know?
And there was one more line in that same song.
Yeah.
To Kanye.
Yeah.
He said, I linked up with the ops. I did it for Jay Prince. I did it for the mob ties.
Yeah.
Kanye responded. He's like, yo, I done gave this man his flowers already. Yeah. We need to really pay attention to our real ops. Yeah. We have to form together and attack these labels. Yeah. I love Drake. Yeah. So he just left it like that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And then a lot of people on Twitter were like, oh, he says that, but look at him crying when Kanye's singing Find Your Love when they did the Larry Hoover concert.
Yeah.
Talking about linking with your ops, you're right there crying, fam. Oh my God, Kanye is so good.
Yeah, no, it attracts listeners.
Yeah, Drake knows what he's doing. Yeah. Everyone is going to listen to the album at 12:01 when it drops. Yeah. Everyone's going to want to digest and take in every single lyric that he's saying. And to this day, it's been 2 weeks already. Yeah. People are still talking about it.
Yeah, exactly. No, for sure. It's well calculated. This man knows what he needs to do to get people to listen, because the fans are gonna listen no matter what. But when you're that big, you need extra listeners, and you gotta do the gimmicks. You know, you gotta do this stuff, the antics. You know, as a part of the game, unfortunately, because people do jump on it. People don't I bet there's so many people that haven't listened to the album. They just read tweets, and their opinion gets attached to that. Like, he dissed Meg, and probably never even heard the song, you know? Yeah. They're just going with the flow, because that's what people do nowadays, you know? Like, they don't have their own opinions. They don't have, like, their own feelings on things. They read something, alright, oh yeah, those are my feelings too. Like, is it though? You know? But, yeah, no, as fans of Drake, you know, we grew up on him, 08. You know, this turned me into a 21 Savage fan, though, for sure. I feel like he was the standout. Like, we expect this from Drake, but for 21 to sit by that man's side and go bar for bar for him. Because I think, what song was it that 21 was rapping and then Drake was ad-libbing right behind him?
That was,
I don't think it's on BS. I don't think it's that one.
More M's?
Maybe More M's. Like, he's like, fuck Adidas. Like,
no, that's Broke Boys.
Okay.
That's Broke Boys.
I got the stripes of fuck Adidas.
Yeah, that's Broke Boys.
Yeah, so he's ad-libbing right behind him. Like, yeah, they're both vocals. Their sound mesh so well together. And he even had Birdman on a song, which was The Middle of the Ocean.
Yeah, I was shocked. That's a special guest right there,
Birdman. That's another feature, technically, you know?
Yeah.
Because he had Birdman, and then I felt some type of way that he had Birdman, but no Lil Wayne. But then he in a verse he was saying, "Oh, I haven't been to Hibachi since Lil Wayne was Yahtzee something back in 09." And I was just like, damn, are you trying to say Lil Wayne hasn't been hot since '09? Like, what are you trying to say right there?
Honestly, I feel like it's such a complicated relationship that the three of them have. It's like Lil Wayne's the one that discovered Drake, but then like you have Drake having Birdman at the end of a song, and he took a picture with him at the Aubrey and Three Migos tour like a few years back, and like there was a whole problem, legal issues between Birdman and Lil Wayne, trying to get out the contract and stuff like that. So like, it's a very complicated relationship that we'll probably never understand.
No, we're always gonna just have our expectations, you know. So, but yeah, no, I just thought about that too. How he really had Birdman. He hasn't had Birdman in so long. I think since Nothing Was the Same on The Language.
The Language. That's the first song. Showtime, headline. Big shine, told nines, flat line, hard grind. So.
Oh, I get it now. Since Nothing Was the Same was his last classic, he's like, yo, I gotta get Birdman back. You know, maybe this will make it a classic. You know,
was it really his last classic? I don't know. A lot. I mean, me personally, like now I can like shuffle like through his discography, rank top 3 and stuff. I always said top 3, no particular order right now, but like I always said, Take Care. Nothing Was the Same if you're reading this. But I guess you could put it in order now because if you're reading this, definitely, arguably, like his greatest.
Yeah, and that makes you think too, since this is kind of like more rapid, you know, Her Loss.
Yeah.
Did he rekindle that relationship with Quentin Miller?
Did he?
Like, who wrote? Like, Drake got all the writers for CLB, and honestly, Nevermind, it just didn't hit. So he's like, you know what? Let me call Quentin.
Nah. I mean, listen. Her Loss was definitely Drake rapping for like the first time since probably if you're reading this.
Yeah.
Like he's really spitting
like a
really
full
raw.
length, because he does have his little tracks here and there, but a full length project for sure has been a while.
But Quentin Miller, nah.
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Those bars, can he come up with them on his own? Which it doesn't matter, you know what I mean?
It's still good content. It's still good music. We're still gonna listen to it, regardless of who's writing it. So,
for sure. Yeah. Her Loss, you know.
Her Loss, not mine. It was hers.
For sure. But yeah, tell us how you felt about the album. You know, like, share, subscribe, comment below.
Yes, sir.
You got John here.
You got Roberto here.
And we're
same city, same friends.
Yes, sir.
Since 08.
Yo. Peace.